So here we were seeing about how the things were happening. Okay, so we saw about workflow, all those things. Okay, so next we took an example and all those things. Okay, now next we went with first law of thermodynamics for non-flow process. Then we saw nature of stored energy. Then we derived in terms of first law applied to open system, we derived, and using open system we derived the concept of enthalpy. Now we will go back to the equation of state and some of the things in that. Okay, so enthalpy is understood, correct? Enthalpy, this is what this is actually called steady flow energy equation. What you see in thermodynamics, this is called the steady flow energy equation. Why steady flow? Everything is steady flow here. The factors does not change with time, because you say and velocity, inlet velocity, hi, zi are all independent of time. That is why it is called steady flow equation. And everywhere we are worried about energy. What is the energy we are taking? Energy flow rate. Here what we are taking, this is energy flow rate. First thing. Second thing is that per unit, this if you see, this is the total energy flow rate. If you try to put it in terms of unit mass, if I say put it in unit mass, steady flow energy equation per unit mass can be written as steady flow energy equation per unit mass can be written as dE by dt, because E is equal to capital E by M. Okay, dE by dt is equal to Q dot minus W dot, correct? Q dot minus W dot, very important, plus HI plus V square by 2G plus GZ minus HE, this is VI, ZI, HE plus VE square by 2G, E stands for exit, plus GZE. This is steady flow energy equation per unit mass. Make sense, students? Flow of energy per unit mass, when we consider, this is what it happens. Sometimes what happens here, or the accumulation of energy inside that particular thing can be written as dE by dt as these things, correct? Any doubts here, students? Once again, have we followed the same thing? So this is the total change of energy. Okay, this would be the total change of energy. So between any two states, if I consider E2 minus E1, we can do that also. Okay, now one of the things, okay, wait a minute. Okay, this one is not a steady flow energy equation. Why? Because I'm very sorry, this is not a steady flow energy equation, because dE by dt is there. There is change in energy in the system. Okay, so not a steady flow. Major problem here, it is not a steady flow. Okay, here energy accumulation, this is the rate of energy accumulation or rate of energy change of the closed system. What is this? dE by dt is the rate of change of energy of the system. Rate of change of energy of the open system, per unit mass, or it's not per unit mass, open system, that's it. Okay, this is one thing we have to understand, very very important. Now in a steady flow, dE by dt goes to 0. Let me change this. Okay, this is not steady flow energy. Let me cancel this full. Let me rub this off fully. Okay, not required. I'm sorry. This is a blunder from my side. Okay, because I wanted to go something ahead, I made a blunder. But that blunder has shown you what should not be done. Okay, see, there are things which you can learn from the teacher. One is what you must do and what you must not do. Okay, so teacher like me, you will also learn what must not be done. Okay, what are the major mistakes what you'll have. Okay, that also you will learn. Okay, so first of all, again, so for a in a steady flow, in a steady flow, in a steady flow, dE by dt is equal to 0. Therefore, q dot minus w dot would be equal to, you can consider, m dot exit into, we can say, our
Sir,
hi plus he. Any doubts here, students?
sir, could you explain why that one?
Why that?
Why in the study flow dE by dt is 0?
I'll explain you in a moment. Okay, plus he. I'll write this equation, then I will explain. Okay, ze minus mi dot hi plus vi square by 2g plus gzi. So, okay, this is the steady flow energy equation. Make sense? Now, why steady flow we have dE by dt is equal to 0 is the question you may ask. Okay, the reason why that is there is because, see, when there is steady flow, there cannot be accumulation of energy. Why? Because if there is an accumulation of energy, whatever the energy which is going in is different from what is going out. In the sense, not like that. In the sense that you have heat here, Q, you have work being done, you say, okay, or this side or that side, anyhow it can be. Now, when you consider steady flow, what do you mean by steady flow generally? Velocity remains constant. The core of steady flow is, the core of steady flow is velocity is constant. That is the core of steady flow, students. Okay, so if velocity is not constant, it is not a steady flow. Now, if the energy which is coming in and going out, if there is energy accumulation, there will be always velocity change. How does velocity change happen? Because of the energy flow, or if there is heat, because when heat added or work done, what is going to happen here inside? The temperature is going to change, or you can say, yeah, temperature is going to change or density is going to change. One of the two things is going to happen. When temperature changes, density changes. Density changes, temperature changes. There is a relationship between that. Also, the pressure may change. Okay. Now, all these changes will ultimately may change the velocity if there is a energy accumulation. If there is no energy accumulation, that is whatever the heat is coming, okay, minus the what is the work done, and whatever the changes in these things are happening is equal, then there is no energy accumulation. If there is no energy accumulation, it will always be a steady flow. Make sense? Make sense? Diviraj.
Yes, sir.
Can you repeat once again?
See, steady flow means always velocity has to remain constant. Now, when there is change, this one Q minus W dot is the energy exchange. Okay, this is the stored energy. These are all stored energy. Observe here. This is, see, when you consider steady flow energy equation, this implies energy in transition. These are all energy in transition generally, although He has the energy in transition PV also involved in it. Okay, but you have this one, I can say, if I put it in another way, this can be written also as equal to me, sorry, m dot, I can say, sigma of, or you can say m dot E exit into stored energy E, this is stored energy, okay, plus I can write P into V, correct? EE, PE, VE, okay. Now, what happens? These are generally energy in transition. This is the energy while getting transited. When you say, sorry, not this one, this flow work, what we have taken, PE into VE, is the energy that is taken while transiting, correct? This is the energy in transition. This is the energy work required to move the mass from one place to the other. These are not like that. These are not to move the mass. Making sense? Am I making sense here? I'll repeat again. What is this PE into VE? That is the flow work. That is the energy required to move this particular mass. Is it not? That is the energy required for motion of the mass. Correct? Flow work. The work done while the fluid flows. Correct? This is the stored energy in the fluid. Now this Q dot and W dot is energy in transition. Work is because of the change in the boundary of the system. Agreed? When you consider work done happens generally because of the change in the boundary of the system. Correct? Of the closed system, not of the open system. Again, I have to keep in mind here. Of the closed system, not of the open system. Q dot is the energy heat transfer which happens, which is very clear cut. Correct, students? Any doubts here? Clear? So what is happening? The energy in transition and the work done plus this one. This has to become balanced. Okay. So now EI minus PI VI. We can write it like this. Okay. So what is this? This is the work done for transiting, for motion of the mass. This is the energy in transition, or these are path functions. These are path functions. Make sense? Any doubts here, students? There can be a number of discussion here. I'm sorry, I wanted to rush into the next topic because I felt it is very interesting, but I missed the interest in this topic. Okay? Yes. Any doubts, students?
Sir, even if it's steady flow, velocity is involved, no?
Yes. When it is steady flow, when velocity has to be the same at a particular point, not everywhere. Don't take that velocity at the exit is equal to velocity at the inlet. Velocity steady means at a point, velocity does not change with the time. Keep it. Make sense? Make sense? Yeah, students. Does it make sense?
Sir, steady flow means the velocity should be same from starting of the flow till end of the flow. Right?
Wrong. Wrong. Steady flow means at a point, the velocity should not change with the time. That's it. Basics.
A
Basics.
point in the system, no?
Huh?
Point in the system, like
Point in this. For example, a nozzle, if you take a nozzle like this, what is happening? Velocity here is different, here it is different. But still it is called steady flow. Why? Because it does not change with time. V1 say V2. V1 is equal to constant. V2 is equal to another constant. This is constant 1, this is constant 2. V1 is greater than V2, correct? Here V1 is greater than V2, correct? So what is happening? Even though it is greater than V1, because when it is going from here to here, it accelerates, but still velocity remains constant at a point with the time. It does not change with the time. Make sense? So you can say dv1 by dt is equal to 0. Make sense, students? Understand the concepts. Understand the concepts. We will not rush in the concepts. These are fundamentals. Yes, students. Any other doubts?
Yes, sir. It means like there is no acceleration. We can
Huh?
say there is no acceleration.
There is no temporal acceleration. Making sense? There is no temporal acceleration. That's what it means. Makes sense, students? Any doubts here? Yeah, Shane, tell me, ask me the answer. Question.
Sir, like in the last equation we have written there v e square by 2g, right?
Ah,
In the previous also it should be by 2g only, no?
yes.
Just check, sir.
No, 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 no. 2. I'm sorry. 2G doesn't come. I'm sorry. 2G comes. I'm very sorry. Here, students, correct it out. 2G does not come. Why? 2G comes only in Bernoulli's equation. How do we get this? Again and again, when we do a mistake, we will learn. We can learn when we do a mistake. When you consider Bernoulli's equation, it is half mv square divided by weight, which is mg. Correct? M cancels and you have half v square by 2g. But what is this? This is nothing but we have half mv square by m, energy per unit mass. Since energy per unit mass is what we consider in SFEE, and we consider this one as, in case of Bernoulli's equation, we consider, in case of Bernoulli's equation, we consider like this. Make sense? We consider energy per unit weight. Here, energy per unit mass. Make sense, students? This is nothing but energy per mass. Any doubts here? Any doubts, students? Think about it. Done? Shall we go further? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead. Take time, okay? Take time because these are important things. We should not miss these things. Now, further ways we can write this SFE. What are the ways we will see? And then we will do some problems on this. But before we do the problem, we will go and see something called the equation of state and the things related to that. Okay. Simple one, but still, I'll take around 20-25 minutes, not more than that.
Sir, why energy in transition you have written for that?
Yeah.
Like why you have written energy in transition for that?
Yes, it is energy in transition, is it not? It is not a stored energy.
Oh, like that. Okay, okay.
When you say Q is energy, moving energy. It is like saying current. Okay. Stored energy is like saying charge. Correct.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that has to be understood. Okay. Shall we go further? Okay. Another point here I want to mention. My notes might look very big, dirty, but that creates a lot of because we are discussing that it becomes like that. Okay. So now we have seen how we can consider this. Okay. We can also say in terms of per unit mass. First of all, I'll write in the slide. First of all, we'll write again neatly. Q dot minus W dot is equal to m dot into He plus Ve square by 2g plus Gze minus m dot. I can also say m dot if m1 is equal to m2, because if it is a steady flow, another main thing happens in a steady flow is what is coming in is going out. Correct? There is no accumulation of mass. If there is accumulation of mass, then it is not a steady flow. Correct? So when you consider accumulation of mass is not there, that is one of the reason why it is steady flow. So m1 is equal to m2, mi is equal to m E, correct? This is exit, this is inlet. So Hi plus Vi square by 2g. Sorry, I'm sorry, students. I make this problem Vi square by 2 plus Gzi. This is energy equation. And if we put it in terms of per unit mass, this mass I will take it outside. I can also write Q dot plus small w dot is equal to He plus Ve square by 2 plus Gze is minus Hi plus minus Vi square by 2 plus minus Gzi. Also, I can say, sorry here, minus, big mistakes. Q dot minus W dot is equal to, I can say, He minus Hi, then plus Ve minus Vi square and square divided by 2 plus Gze minus Zi. Now this is the one of the standard way to represent the steady flow energy equation. Makes sense? Today and tomorrow we will do some very interesting problems on this, students. SFE, there is a load of information comes from steady flow energy equation. How will we do that? We will see one by one. Okay. Yeah, write this down neatly, students, and by heart this. This has to be remembered. Okay. So tomorrow I said Wednesday, now I'll say Thursday. By Thursday we will complete the first law. Friday we will go with the Friday we will start with second law. Okay. Or we will go with pure substances first, then we will go with second law. Okay. Pure substances we will see for different. This will go faster than fluid mechanics, students, because concepts are easier compared to fluid mechanics. Thermodynamics concepts are easier compared to fluid mechanics. A lot of people will not agree with me, is it not? You will agree with me after some time. Yeah.
Sir, that second equation we get per unit mass.
Unit mass. So you can say Q dot is equal to capital Q dot by small m. W dot is equal to capital W dot divided by small m. Make sense? Tilakraj, you have asked for all this one, no? I have shared with you, is it not? Tilakraj ji, I shared the meet.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Got it? No. Okay, okay. Shall we go further? Hello. Shall we go further, students?
Yes.
Next step
Yes, sir.
is to, yeah. Next step is to
Q
apply the
dot by M
steady
dot.
flow. Yeah.
It is Q dot by M dot, no?
M dot. Yes, yes. M dot. M dot. Yes. Or we can say also this is D
But then
of
it will be Q, right? It won't be
Q by
Q,
M.
Q dot.
We can also say this is equal to W dot is equal to D by dt of W by M. This way we can say that.
Sir, Q dot by M dot would be Q, no? It won't be Q dot, no, anymore. Like the time factor will get cancelled, no?
That also can be done. Yes, Q by M you can say. Okay, rate of change of you say like this, is it not? You are saying dq by dt is divided by dm by dt, correct? So you get this cancelled. Yes. So you can say q dot is equal to q by m, right? So we can
Like
directly
it
put
won't
this
be
as
Q
correct,
dot, no,
correct,
anymore.
correct, 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 correct. Thank you very much. Okay, it's q by w. Okay, today I am not a very good one. Q by, that is q is equal to q dot by m dot, which comes as correct, which dt gets cancelled. Okay, that's a very good thing. I had not considered these things, students. Okay, when we discuss with the students, okay, this is one of the things we get very much. Okay, that's why we learn also all the things which are there already. Also we learn by teaching. Okay, subtler aspects. Okay, so what is it? It is totally given in the book that q dot, it comes from q minus w. Why? Yes, dt cancels. So dq by dm is, this is dq by dm, or we can say q by m. That's how you can take it, q by m. Okay, because dt cancels. Good. These are subtler aspects, student. This gives strength for you in a subject. Is it done?
Yes, sir.
Well, now let us go into one of the things called the how do we find, how do we find the internal energy and enthalpy of ideal gases? First of all, let us see ideal gas equation, which you know. I will not go for that. Okay, let us consider internal energy and enthalpy of ideal gases. Internal energy and enthalpy of ideal gases. Now, what is an ideal gas? There is one definition by Joule. Okay, there is a definition by Joule. Let us see how to go for that. Okay. Now, first of all, if I consider, okay, Joule's theory. Okay, Joule's theory says that Joule's law, we can call it law only. Joule's law is like this. Joule's law states that the internal energy of an ideal gas is a function of temperature only, nothing else. For an ideal gas, the internal energy is the function of temperature only. Very important. Okay. Now let us understand. Can we find out something called? Let us start with du in general. Okay. Let us consider in general for any gas we can write U, that is internal energy. I'll write internal energy per unit mass U is equal to small u. I can write it as function of any two. I'll say temperature and specific volume. I could have written temperature and pressure. This is one of the fundamental law of thermodynamics, students, that any property can be written as a function of other two properties alone. So I could have written U is equal to a function of temperature and velocity. Specific volume. I could have written U as a function of temperature and pressure. I could have written U as a function of temperature, pressure and specific volume. Anything I could have written. But I have chosen U is a function of temperature and specific volume. If I take like this, then what happens here, which is generally the case, okay, I can write du as dou u by dou t at constant specific volume into dt plus dou u by dou t at constant temperature into dV. Basic. This is how we open up the things, right? We have seen in when I started this thermodynamics, we have seen this, is it not? So du, the differentiation can be written as dou u by dou t at constant specific volume into dt plus dou u by dou t at constant temperature dV. Makes sense? Here, this particular thing, dou u by dou t at constant volume, is called specific heat at constant volume. What is this called? Specific heat at constant volume. Dou u by dou t at constant V is called CV. So we can write this as CV plus, okay, I'll write it like this. Wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute, students. Okay. So here, one of the thing is that we see that dou u by dou V. I'm sorry, students. This is dou u by dou V. Okay, correct this, students. Dou u by dou t into dt at constant V. Dou u by dou V at constant temperature into dV. Here, for an ideal gas, dou u by dou V at constant temperature is equal to 0. Therefore, du is equal to dou u by dou t at constant specific volume into dt. Or I can say du by dt, change in internal energy per temperature, is equal to dou u by dou t at constant specific volume. Now this is called specific heat at constant volume. We will see that later. Right, this next page we will see more about specific heat at constant volume. Okay. So everything from the basics, I hope you are appreciating this. Very, very simple one. Okay. If I had introduced this in VTU classes, then it would have been a very difficult thing, is it not, students?
Sir, in general for any gas is the function of temperature and either.
How? Any gas.
Temperature and volume specific.
Specific volume. I could have written like this also.
Uh,
If you say like this, I could have written F is equal to T and P also. I could have written it.
any one.
Any one.
Okay.
Or I could have written as F as function of V and P. I could have written it.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, any property can be written in terms of any other two properties.
Yes.
This is a fundamental law of thermodynamics.
Yes, sir.
There is proof for that, but that becomes very difficult for me in this out of the scope of this particular course.
Yes, sir.
But if you take advanced thermodynamics, that will be the first thing which will be told to you when you do your MTech. It is part of any advanced thermodynamics courses. Whether you go for chemical engineering, whether you go for mechanical engineering, whether you go for aerospace, if they take advanced thermodynamics, that's the first thing they see. But that way we are not deriving. If I take P and V and something like that, we are not deriving what you say specific heat. Here we are deriving specific heat. This dou U by dou T is equal to 0 because of Joule's law. There is statistical reasons for that also, but we will not go to the depth of it. Okay. Done, students? Tell me when you have finished writing. Done? Very good. Okay. Now here, let us understand this. Now when I consider, if you have du by dt is actually equal to specific heat at constant volume. What is this? This is dou u by dou t at constant volume, right? Change in internal energy per at temperature at constant volume. This is called Cp. What is, sorry, Cv? Cv is specific heat at constant volume. At constant volume. We will go to the depth of this. This is very interesting one. Okay. Now Cv, when you say what is the unit for this? Unit of Cv is kilojoules or joules per kg Kelvin. Very important. It is joules per kg Kelvin. Why joules per kg? Because U is in terms of joules per kg into Kelvin. Joules per kg Kelvin is the unit of Cv. Make sense, students? Okay. So now, if you consider air, for air, Cv is how much? Cv is 701, right? 715. 715 joules per kg Kelvin. Very important. Okay. 715 or 717, I'm supposed. Okay. Something like that. Okay. So many joules per kg Kelvin. Am I correct? Let me check it out. Akshay, you can help me out on that? What is Cv for air? 717, is it not? Akshay ji, are you there? You also do not remember? Akshay is not there. Ashutosh. Ashutosh,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Akshay, what is
Wow.
the 715?
712, sir. 712 something.
Sir,
712 joule per kg, I guess.
Okay, 712 joules per kg Kelvin ECV. Okay, so that is the specific heat at constant volume. Done. Okay, now let us go with enthalpy. Okay, if I consider enthalpy, okay, per unit mass, which I call it as H, this can be written as equal to a function of temperature and pressure. We will take it as a function of temperature
sir,
and
718 ಅಲ್ಲ
718
Oh,
ಅಲ್ಲ?
718, sir. 718. Sorry, sir.
718, correct. 718 is the answer. Okay, so 718. Okay, that is one thing which we should not forget, students, but somehow I keep forgetting. Okay, please do not forget. Okay, 718. Okay, so enthalpy per unit mass, H is a function of temperature and pressure. Now this can be written as, if I want to write dH can be written as dou H by dou T at constant pressure dt plus dou H by dou T at constant, sorry, dou H by dou P at constant temperature into dP. Okay, now let us understand much more here. Okay, now in this case, if I consider this one, dou H by dou T at constant P, dou H by dou T at constant P is called Cp, which is specific heat at constant pressure. Specific heat at constant pressure. What is that called? Specific heat at constant pressure. Now, one thing you may ask, students, what is specific heat? Specific heat is the amount of heat required to increase the temperature of a kg of a mass of unit mass of the substance by 1 Kelvin. Correct? That is a basic. We will do a problem after the class on this particular one, because there has been problem which has come in GATE. Okay, write this down, students. Now let us see the understanding between these two. Let us understand that. Very important one. Let us understand the difference and also the similarities. This is a very, very important class, students. Okay, because this level of basics is not dealt with in our universities. Done, students?
Yes.
Very good. Okay, now let us go further. Okay, now here let us understand, if I consider dh, if I consider h, what is h? H is nothing but u plus pv. Correct? Agreed? Internal energy plus pressure into specific volume. Now if I consider dh, what is dh? dh can be written as du plus d of pv. Makes sense? dh into d of pv. Now this can be written as equal to, if I consider this, okay, this can be, what is this du? du I can write it as Cv dt, correct? And then we can write this as equal to Cv dt plus, okay, Cv dt plus, just a second student, just a second. I can write Cv dt plus I can write VdP or PdV plus I'll write again, I'm sorry. So I can write du, let me write it like this, du plus I can write PdV plus VdP, makes sense, dH. Now if I consider incompressible liquids, like say water, okay, for incompressible liquids, compressible liquid.
Sir, the screen has got blurred.
Got blood, others?
No, sir.
It's proper.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
For incompressible liquids like water, or incompressible, for liquids which is generally incompressible only, okay, what will happen? PdV, dV is equal to 0, correct? dV is equal to 0. So we will get this as equal to, okay, we will get this as equal to dV is equal to 0. So we can write this as dH is equal to du plus VdP alone, because dV is equal to 0, correct? Now let us differentiate, okay, differentiating with respect to temperature. Differentiating with respect to temperature T, we can write dH by dt is equal to du by dt, correct? Du by dt, okay? And then let us keep constant pressure, okay? Du by dt plus VdP. Let us keep it like that, okay? Du by dt plus VdP, okay? At constant pressure, let me move it here, okay? At constant pressure, dH by dt at constant pressure is equal to du by dt at constant, what is this? Let us understand here. At constant volume we can write, okay? Why that constant volume comes is because when you consider this one, dV is equal to 0, it means it is constant volume. So it can be constant pressure or constant volume, both, correct? Because we have taken constant pressure here, but we can also take constant volume also, because volume does not change. So for incompressible liquid, therefore for incompressible liquid, incompressible fluids, I can say for incompressible fluids, Cp is equal to Cv. Cp is specific heat at constant pressure, which is dH by dt at constant P. Cv is du by dt at constant specific volume. So that is equal to C. For example, for water, okay, for water, Cp is equal to Cv is equal to 4.18 kilojoules per kg Kelvin, correct? And it is constant, correct? So Cp is equal to Cv is the same for both. How? If they ask, you have to start from here and prove that to them. That since dV is equal to 0, this du you can take in terms of constant specific volume itself. And then we take constant dH by dt at constant pressure, dP will also go to 0. Correct? Makes sense? Write this down, students. Let us understand this further. A lot of depth to this. Basics, which has not been told to us generally, we'll see it. Oh. Then students, take time, take time. It's a very, very simple one, but very important.
Sir, differentiating with respect to temperature, VDP remains same.
I'm sorry. Correct. Now at constant pressure, if pressure does not change with the temperature, okay, that is at constant pressure. If you are taking in such a way that pressure doesn't change, then dP by dt also goes to 0. Okay, if you're taking constant pressure, okay. Because yeah, at constant pressure, if I'm taking it is at constant pressure, like water being boiled in open air is heating at constant pressure, is it not? It need not be always constant pressure, just like your pressure cooker. Pressure cooker, when you are taking it, is not constant pressure. There you cannot take this law. Okay, CV may change, CP may change.
Sir, could you give a scenario for like DV?
Can I get a scenario for
Scenario for DV, like for incompressible fluid situation.
like water? dV is equal to 0. See, how much ever you compress, compressibility of water is very high, is it not? We have seen in fluid mechanics, correct?
Yes, sir.
So
No, like,
how much ever pressure you increase, the specific volume does not change.
yeah, sir. Like, no, like, could you tell a like scenario where we apply this situation, like this equation, and we have to consider DV as constant?
You take heating from your water in your pan. Specific volume does not change at all. When you're going from 0 degree to 100 degrees, or say it may change a bit, I'm not saying no, but very less. Or you take from 20 degree to 100 degrees. What is the change? Very less. Correct.
Okay, so is this for a control mass,
No,
like
no. It's
power
all for
system,
control
or
mass. Control mass. Control mass. Everything we are talking about control mass. We are
okay,
not talking
okay.
about open system. These are laws of physics. Has to be done for control mass only.
Okay,
Then it
okay,
is
okay, sir.
applicable for control volume. How? By using SFE. When you do H, we in our SFE, we take H here, is it not? We take H here, HE and HI. It is per unit mass. It is controls mass there. We are not taking HE and HI for the control volume. Control volume, this whole thing is applicable, correct? But if you take HE, it's for control mass. VE, it's for control mass. Velocity of a small mass which is going. ZE of that mass. Make sense? Make
Okay,
sense?
okay, okay. But the whole
Very
thing is for control volume.
Yes, the whole thing is control volume. This one is for the control volume.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah.
Okay, but each HE is for the packet of mass which is going inside the outside the exit. HI is the one which is coming inside the inlet. Making sense?
Yes, sir.
Getting the subtlety of the issue. ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮತೆ ಹೇಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಈ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು just equations ಬರಿತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. The moment you just write equations, the problem comes there. Getting it, students? Okay then. So we'll stop here, students. We'll meet again at 9 o'clock. Okay, with much
Okay,
more theory. We will do some problems at 9 o'clock. Okay, thank you.
Sir,
Yeah, Shane, tell me, Shane. Tell me, Shane. You have a question?
yes, sir. That last slide.
Last slide. Okay. Yeah, tell me, Shane.
And here, that dH by dt at constant pressure is
Hmm.
equal to specific volume at constant volume and at constant pressure.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, okay, okay.
But we are worried about constant volume because at
Okay.
constant volume CV is mentioned, is it not?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So that's why we say it's constant volume CV. We take it like that.
Okay, okay. But like CV is equal to CP at constant pressure.
At
Only.
constant pressure and constant volume for an incompressible fluid.
Okay, okay. For an incompressible fluid. Okay, okay.
For an incompressible fluid. If you consider air which is compressible, this is not valid.
Not applicable. Okay, okay.
Not this is applicable only for
Incompressible fluid.
incompressible fluid like water.
Okay, okay, okay.